Hello everyone, my name is Julius. So glad to have the opportunity to share my thoughts with you all. First of all, let us give thanks and praise to Almighty God for all His blessing and grace. The campus as our second home should be a comfortable, clean and conducive place to study and develop yourselves. However, the reality we face today is far from ideal. Many of us not yet realize the harmful effect of smoking, especially on campus. In my opinion, smoking on campus is a serious problem that needs to be addressed immediately. The smoke product not only endangers the health of active smokers, but also threatens the health of those around them. It is very clear that cigarette smoke contains thousands of harmful chemicals that can cause very serious disease, ranging from respiratory disorders to cancer. In addition, smoking can also damage the image of the campus as an educational institution that upholds the values of health and the environment. How can we claim to be a generation of young people who are intelligent and caring if we still allow bad habits like smoking to damage our campus environment? I believe that the campus should be a smoke-free zone. In this way, we can create a healthy and comfortable learning environment for all students of the academic community. To achieve this, we need to make several efforts, including socialization. Conducting intensive socialization to all members of the academic community about the dangers of smoking and the importance of maintaining a clean campus environment. Implementation of regulation. Making strict regulation on smoking bans in all campus areas and imposing sanctions of violators. Provision of facilities. Providing adequate facilities for smokers who want to quit, such as counseling and therapy service. Everybody, let us work together to create a healthy, clean and smoke-free campus. I'm sure that if we are all committed to realizing this, our campus will become an example for other campuses. This is the speech I can deliver. Hopefully it is useful and can inspire us all to live healthy lives. Thank you. Okay, next I want to explain about adverb of frequency. Adverb of frequency. How often we do things. What is an adverb of frequency? An adverb of frequency is a word or phrase that tells us how often something happens. These words provide information about the frequency or regularity of an action, such as always, usually, often, sometimes, seldom, rarely, or never. Okay, next, the function of adverb of frequency. The primary function of adverb of frequency is to provide a temporal context within a sentence. By using an adverb of frequency, we can understand how often an event occurs. For instance, the sentence, I always drink coffee in the morning, indicates that the action of drinking coffee happens daily at the start of the day. Okay, next, adverb of frequency diagram. Never is 0%, hardly ever is 10%, seldom is 20%, rarely is 30%, occasionally is 40%, sometimes is 50%, often is 16%, frequently is 75%, usually is 85%, and always is 100%. Well, I want to explain one by one about adverb or frequency diagram. Never. Never indicates that something has never happened and will not happen. Example, I never go to the beach in winter. She never comes to class on time. Does he never eat vegetables? The frequency indicator percentage is 0% because you can use never if that something has never happened and will not happen. Hardly ever. Hardly ever suggests that something happens very rarely. Example, I hardly ever admit. She hardly ever calls her parents. Do you hardly ever read books? The frequency indicator percentage is 10%. If something happens very rarely, you can use hardly ever. Seldom. Seldom means that something happens infrequently. For example, I seldom drink coffee. He seldom exercises. Does it seldom snow in your city? Frequency indicator percentage is 20%. Rarely. Rarely similar to seldom, but increase and even lower frequency. Example, I rarely eat junk food. She rarely goes to parties. Do you rarely watch the news? Frequency indicator percentage is 30%. Occasionally. Occasionally indicates that something happens from time to time. Example, we occasionally go to the movies on weekends. He occasionally makes mistakes. Do you occasionally eat spicy food? Occasionally indicates that something happened, and frequency indicator percentage is 40%. Okay, next, sometimes. Sometimes means that something happens very often, but not always. Example, sometimes I feel tired after work. She sometimes forgets to turn off the lights. Does it sometimes rain in the afternoon? Frequency indicator percentage is 50%. Often. Often suggests that something happens frequently. Example, I often go for a walk in the park. He often missed the bus. Do you often eat fast food? Frequency indicator percentage is 60%. Frequently. Frequently indicates a high level of frequency. Example, they frequently visit their grandparents. She frequently loses her phone. How frequently do you travel abroad? Frequency indicator percentage is 75% because frequently indicates a high level of frequency. Next, usually. Usually implies that sometimes happens most of the time. Example, I usually go to the gym on Mondays and Wednesdays. He usually doesn't eat breakfast. Do you usually watch TV in the evening? Frequency indicator percentage is 85%. Always. Always means that something happens every time, without exceptions. Example, I always brush my teeth before bed. She always forgets her keys. Does she always come to work on time? Frequency indicator percentage is 100% because always means that something happens every time without exceptions. Okay, I want to explain about placement of adverb or frequency in a sentence. Generally, adverb or frequency are placed before the main verb in a sentence. However, when the main verb is to be, the adverb or frequency is placed after the verb. For example, with the to be, I always get up early. She usually goes to the gym. They sometimes eat out. With to be, I am always happy. She is usually on time. They were often late. The placement of adverb or frequency in English sentence depends on the type of verb used. When using the verb to be, the adverb or frequency is placed after it because the verb to be primarily functions as a link between the subject and the predicate. Unlike main verbs, which express actions, the verb to be indicates a state of being. Thus, adverb or frequency are more closely associated with the subject's state or existence rather than its action. For example, always. She is always on time for work. Often. They are often late for class. Sometimes. He is sometimes moody. Usually. We are usually tired after a long day. Never. You are never rude to customers. Adverbs or frequency with modal verbs. Adverb or frequency can also be used with modal verbs like can, could, may, might, will, and shall. For example, I can always rely on him. She could usually finish her work on time. More example, you can always count on me. They could often be seen playing in the park. You may sometimes wonder why I do things. She might sometimes forget to bring her phone. We will usually go shopping on Saturdays. We shall often discuss this matter. Adverbs of frequency with simple present tense. Adverb of frequency are frequently used with the simple present tense to express habits or routines. For example, he plays tennis every weekend. We go to the movies once a month. Adverbs of frequency with present continuous tense. Whilst common adverb of frequency can be used with the present continuous tense. For example, it is always raining in this city. Emphasizing with adverbs of frequency. Placing an adverb of frequency at the beginning of a sentence can emphasize the frequency of an action. For example, always remember to lock the door. More specific adverbs of frequency. In addition to general adverb of frequency, there are more specific ones such as daily. She daily feeds her cat before going to work. Weekly. The store has a weekly sale on Wednesdays. Monthly. The company has a monthly team building activity. Yearly. They go on a vacation rolling to a new country. Additional notes and examples. Adverb of definite frequency. The specifier is a time period, such as daily, weekly, monthly, or every day. Example: I go to the library every Tuesday. Adverb of indefinite frequency. This provides a general idea of frequency, such as often, sometimes, or rarely. Example: I often feel tired after work. Adverb of frequency can also modify adjectives. Example: she is always happy, modifying the adjective happy. Conclusion. Understanding adverb of frequency is crucial for effective communication in English. By using adverb of frequency correctly, you can convey information more clearly and accurately. Conclusion. Adverb of frequency are a fundamental part of English grammar. By grasping their concepts and usage, you can significantly enhance your English speaking and writing abilities. Thank you.